Good afternoon and welcome to the Now Detroit. Justice was served in a Michigan courtroom today as a judge sent Larry Nassar to prison for the rest of his life.
I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I just signed your death warrant.
The former sports doctor was sentenced up to 175 years behind bars for sexually assaulting young athletes. The sentence capped a remarkable 7-day hearing where more than 150 victims came forward to face their abuser. There was no shortage of drama in the courtroom as the convicted child molester learned his fate. The Now Detroit's Ross Jones was there as it all unfolded, and he joins us live in Lansing with more now on the judge's decision. Ross.
Joanne, it is finally over. After months in court and decades of suffering, the monster that is Larry Nassar has been convicted, and he was put away by the very women he abused.
While we were mentally strong enough to endure your countless hours of abuse, strong enough to endure the pain of keeping your secret, strong enough to be pushed down and repressed by MSU, USAG, and the USOC, we were ultimately strong enough to take you down. Not one by one, but by an army of survivors. We are Jane Doe's no more.
Kaylee Lorenz was one of the last survivors to address Larry Nassar before a judge handed down his sentence. After more than 6 days of hearing stories of pain and suffering from his victims, Nassar decided he wanted to speak too and apologized.
Your words these past several days, your words have had a significant emotional effect on myself and has shaken me to my core.
And when he was done, Nassar quickly learned that his apology garnered him no sympathy from Judge Rosemarie Aquilina.
You played on everyone's vulnerability. I'm not vulnerable. Not to you. I want you to know, as much as it was my honor and privilege to hear the sister survivors, it is my honor and privilege to sentence you. Because, sir, you do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again.
His sentence, 40 to 175 years in prison.
I just signed your death warrant.
Now, Nassar had already been sentenced to 60 years in prison in an unrelated case for child pornography. This sentence will begin once that one is over. Joanne?
Ross, people might forget here that this conviction really only happened because one of Nassar's former patients spoke publicly to an Indianapolis newspaper. I know she was in court this morning.
Yes, Rachel Del Hollander is her name. Not only was she in court, she was the very last person to speak, to address Nassar before he was sentenced. She spoke for about 30 minutes, incredibly powerful words from her, and we will show you those coming up on 7 Action News at 5.
An incredible young woman. Ross Jones, thank you for your great coverage on this story. And coming up in our next half hour, we'll have more on the NCAA's investigation into MSU, where Nassar was, of course, employed for nearly 20 years. We're looking at the letter sent to the school's athletic department and what the NCAA is now requesting. Again, that's coming up at 4:30 here on the Now.